Hello friends, how are you? My name is Corbin and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so excited to be talking to you today. This is my first video of this kind. Usually I'm on my hands and knees and cutting wood, painting and doing DIY, but I wanted to come to you today and talk to you about the design trends that I am seeing in interior design in 2023. Now this is a little bit late in the year, but the design trends are still ripping and roaring, so I think that this will still be of value to you if you yourself are working on a renovation or you just want to incorporate some new trends that are going on in 2023 into your home. I'm gonna highlight things that are a little bit trendy, but also highlight things that I just think are beautiful and timeless, even if they are trendy. If you do decide to incorporate them, they won't be out, hopefully, very soon. I tend to not follow trends, and if it is trendy, I still look to the past and say, okay, if this is something that people were doing, 100 years ago, then it's probably something that they're still gonna be doing in 15 years or whatever. Like, for example, you're getting a little sneak peek preview of the wainscoting that I put on my wall behind me. This is a part of my movie room makeover up in my loft. You guys, it's so gorgeous. It's so beautiful. I probably will not be showing you the full reveal for maybe a couple months. I have a lot of other room makeovers that I want to show you, but this one is really special. So if you are new to my channel, please be sure to subscribe so you do not miss this movie room loft makeover. It's absolutely stunning and so special, and I think it's some of the best work I have ever done. And it was cool because I incorporated a lot of things that I've learned all into one space. So today I'm going to be sharing with you the 2023 trends. I spend all of my time on Instagram looking at interior design. I have an account that's called Story Designs with Corbin that is for this YouTube channel, but also I follow a bunch of interior designers and artisans and craftsmen that I love. And so the images that I'm gonna be, the trends that I'm gonna be talking to you about today, I'm going to show you examples of it using images from Instagram and maybe a little bit from Pinterest, but mostly Instagram. And these are accounts that I love and that are, to me, a good example of the trends I'm speaking of. And then I'm also going to talk to you a little bit about how you can incorporate these trends into your home. So if that sounds interesting to you, then please just keep on watching. So trend number one that I want to talk to you about is checkered anything. But to me, the trend that if I was doing a renovation, I would want to incorporate is checkered floors. I have seen some of the most beautiful checkered floors incorporated into designs that are marble that I think are really stunning and really timeless. You see that a lot in Europe, you see a lot in Paris and in France, and I saw it a lot in Italy. And again, it's one of those things where if it was popular 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 300 years ago, it's still gonna look beautiful, especially if you use durable, timeless materials like marble or even like a porcelain or some sort of stone that, can give you that same feeling, that same look. I've seen designers like Jeremiah Brent use them. I've seen designers like Stouffer Home use them. Jean Stouffer, I think is her name, Stouffer Designs. Has done some really beautiful spaces that are like an all-season porch, like a sunroom. I've seen Joanna Gaines use it in a space that she did recently in a castle that she renovated. It's trendy, but it's also timeless. And so if you're doing a renovation, I would consider putting it in a space like that, a space that's or an entryway. I've seen some really beautiful vestibules incorporate them in their entryway. There's someone that I follow, but she just recently completed a vestibule that she added some glass sort of steel doors to it in her home that she's renovating. And it just creates such a defining, gorgeous moment. And she incorporated this trend so beautifully. If you're doing that, if you're doing a renovation in your home, consider putting these checkered floors into your space. And if you're looking for a cost-effective way to incorporate it into a floor, you can paint it. If it's wood floors, I personally probably wouldn't take that route, but I've seen it done nicely. It can be done for sure. If you aren't doing any renovations and you just want to incorporate this trend into your home, there are some really great options in blankets that I've seen. There are some great options in backsplashes that I've seen, which is actually something that you can easily do yourself if you want to retile a backsplash to your kitchen or your laundry room or some other sort of bar area that needs a backsplash. Tiling is actually a very easy thing to do to DIY yourself. I actually recently did my own tiling project for the first time with a $60 wet saw. If you haven't seen that, please go check out that video. I'll post it here, but I just tiled my fireplace with a marble that I had, a fluted marble that I had left over. So it is a doable project to do yourself. I've seen rugs incorporate this trend. I've seen just some other candles. I've seen some candles. I'll link some things down below that make it accessible and easy for you to incorporate this trend. But checkers are so in right now, and there are so many ways that you can incorporate them into your home. The next design trend that I am seeing in 2023 is art that is smaller scale. Now, I'm so about this. I have heard some people on YouTube in the design space sort of like poop on it and say that, like, you know, it's not for them, and why would you, you know, put art in your space? It's so small that you can't see it. It's like, I actually really like the sort of minimal impact that it can have. I got a piece recently from artist named Salt Air Interiors. I'll link them down below. I got a really beautiful reclaimed wood, a hand painted, it's just very minimalistic art. It's like a brown square that I think he like screen painted. I think that's the technique. Forgive me if I'm saying it wrong, but it's on a canvas, and the reclaimed wood frame is like these 100-year-old beams, and it's like this big. I'll insert a photo of it here, but I love it so much. It gives so much impact in my office space, which I keep saying this, but I will reveal it soon, the makeover. I love the trend. So if you're looking for small scale art, I think it's great. I also think there's something really cool about it. It makes you sort of lean in. I have a lot of large scale art in my home too. I tend to keep things very quiet and just more textural, just because it helps with my headspace. And I'm realizing as I make over my home, like stripping away the decor, I like things to be simple but impactful. And I think that small scale art with a lot of texture, you can definitely incorporate that into your home with small scale art that uses plaster, or you can paint with concrete. I've done a project that I'll insert a photo of here that is in my stairwell that is actually based off of an Athena Calderone image that I saw in her home, and I just DIY'd it. I've seen some really beautiful landscape art that's smaller scale, floral artwork, fruit still lifes. I think all of those are really beautiful, and they're trendy. Incorporate them into your home in a way that's timeless. I have very much leaned away from the prints you can get at Target, just because I don't like seeing the same art that I have in my home and other people's homes, and it just sort of feels less exciting to me. If you're going to do prints, I would say go on Etsy and look for something that you can print out in a smaller scale and put in a space. Otherwise, go to your local thrift store and you can find real painted art. You have to be consistent. Estate sales, Facebook Marketplace, you know, check these places for real paintings, and they really will elevate a space. I'm here for the smaller scale art trend. I will link some items down below that are ways that you can incorporate this trend into your home. Trend number 3 that I am seeing is warm, bold colors. And I am so excited that we are moving away from this sort of monochrome white on white on white on white. Like, I actually thought that was going to stick around a lot longer than it did. And I think what happened is people were staying at home and they're just realizing, like, it doesn't feel like a warm hug. And even like this behind me, like, this is white and my chair is white. It's like a beige. It has texture. And I think that helps. That helps if you're going to do the white on white thing or the beige. Do a version of white. Do something that has warmth in it. Like, this has undertones of brown and gray. So it feels like a warm white, you know? It's not just everything stark white. That just feels like an insane asylum. Like, I'm so glad we're moving away from that. Browns, greens, moss, velvets, mohairs with these colors. A lot of paint companies are releasing their historic paint color lines, and people want warmth in their homes, you know, blues, greens, yellows. It's also a very English, British thing to use a lot of warm, saturated colors in your home. And when I mean saturated, I mean they're muted, like colors you would find in nature, right? And the good thing about that is no one's ever walked into nature and gone, oh, this looks trendy, or this looks like it's gonna go out of style. No, nature's been here longer than we've been here. So if you stick to those sort of hues that you see in nature, you can never, ever go wrong. I've also seen a lot of browns coming in. Lone Fox recently painted his kitchen. It's stunning in these brown cabinets. Also, another way you can use color and incorporate texture is to use lime wash and to use Roman clay. I've lime washed 3 rooms now in my home, and I'll link the lime wash tutorial I have here and also a link to the lime wash that I put in my hallway makeover. But you can just see I did this like dark saturated blue and the texture from the lime wash also. And then I also did molding, of course, because like I can't just do one thing. But it's so beautiful, and it's blue, but it's like a deep, dark, saturated, warm blue that again you would find in nature, but also just really warms up the space. So glad we're moving away from white and moving into bold, warm, natural colors. Next trend I'm seeing in 2023 are vintage inspired furniture. Now, this is not new. Vintage has been being used in interior design as, you know, since the beginning of time. But what's really cool is, you know, I'm seeing things like English arm roll sofas, and just like what's happening is, yes, designers are using real vintage in their spaces, but they're also manufacturing pieces that are based on vintage furniture. So you're gonna see this from every designer, you know, from Jenny Kane to lines that these celebrities are partnering with Crate and Barrel, like Jake Arnold and from The Expert, and like, you know, Athena Calderon, and also Amber Interior, Studio McGee, those names that you definitely know. All of these designers are taking these very classic styles, like an English armroll sofa or a slip-covered sofa that have been around for, again, you know, over 100 years, and remaking them so that you can have them new in your home. Now, here's the thing about that. Love that these styles are back. I'm loving that we're moving away from the clouds, so the dumpy sort of cloud sofa that everyone is very sick of. I mean, it's very comfortable, but people are getting sick of it. And I just recently did a makeover in my home where all of my furniture have silhouettes that are, I mean, my couch is a vintage couch that I got, but I got it off Facebook Marketplace for under $600. It's real leather, and it's got these beautiful brass rivets on it. And these price tags that these designers are putting on their furniture are in the like thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. And that's cool to go to their websites and browse them for inspiration. But personally, if I know that I can shop locally and find these things at a vintage store or at a flea market like Rose Bowl. I mean, I'm lucky to live in LA and live close enough to things like these sorts of resources, but go on the designer websites for the inspiration, go on Facebook Marketplace, go thrift, go to your vintage store. Also, don't be afraid to reupholster something. If the frame is in excellent condition, you can have it reupholstered and you will still save thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars and get something so custom for your home. I have a video, an antique vintage, a couple of them, of me going to the Rose Bowl if you want to check that out and check out what kinds of things are available in case you do live here in Los Angeles and you've never been antique vintage shopping and you just want to see like, hey, is that something I want to venture into doing? So I will link that above for you. And if you haven't watched my living room makeover, go check that out. How I've used both vintage inspired furniture, because I do have a sheepskin couch, which is not vintage, but it is a vintage inspired shape, and also my actual vintage couch. And it's curvy and beautiful, and check it out. Check out how I use those trends in my home. Trends that are not, honestly, these shapes aren't going out of style. It's not happening. They're timeless. So go check that out if you haven't already. The next trend I want to talk about in 2023 is in lighting. I'm seeing a lot of pleated lampshades. Sound off down below if you're into the pleated lampshade trend. I have one, again, from my living room makeover that I got. It's an Oscar Piccolo lamp, and it's got this really beautiful wavy base and the tilted sort of shade, and I got it off of Etsy. I don't think the vendor sells it anymore, unfortunately, but I have some linked. I can link down below of a similar one that I did find in case you're interested in that style. But it has a pleated lampshade, and I'm actually really into it, but I think I'm only into it because it looks like a hat. It looks like a beret. I'm not as into the classic. I think I tried it and it just gave me too much grandma vibes, but it's very trendy right now and a lot of people are doing it. And I do think if you incorporate it to your taste, it can be done well and in a very timeless way. So yeah, pleated lampshades. I'm also seeing the trend of patterns on lampshades, which I am loving. I got some vintage fabric off of Etsy and DIY'd a lampshade that I have in my office. and I also made some sconces out of it. If you're interested in that, in learning how to do that DIY, I will link it here. But yeah, I'm loving the pleated, like I'm seeing all kinds of vintage fabrics and colors being used. So it's a very cool trend that is being incorporated. Lampshades. It's also trickled down into like Target. I think Studio McGee has a lampshade that you can buy for like a whole lamp actually that you can buy that's very vintage inspired. I think it's like $30. So it's a trend that's big in 2023 that I can definitely get behind and have certainly incorporated into my own home. So if you're interested in incorporating the pattern fabric, don't be afraid to DIY that. You don't have to spend, I mean, these lampshades can go for $200, $300, $400. You can do it yourself. Go to the fabric store, buy fabric off of Amazon like I did. And if you're interested in seeing how to turn just like a plain white lampshade into a lampshade that has that fabric on it, it's very easy. It will take you like 20 to 30 minutes to do. I will link the DIY here. It was a part of my fall DIYs, but it's super easy to incorporate this trend into your home to reupholster a fabric lampshade. So don't be afraid to give that trend a try. Construction is getting a little crazy and out of hand, so this is the last one. The last trend that I am seeing in 2023 is kitchens and bathrooms with bold, veiny, gorgeous marble. You guys, I'm so loving this. And again, you know, yes, if you're doing a renovation, I'm seeing it in marble backsplashes where there's an entire wall that like feeds into the counter and it goes all the way up the wall. I actually did it in my own kitchen, which you will see as a part of the kitchen makeover, so stay tuned for that. Be sure to subscribe. I'm seeing waterfall islands with the bold veiny marble. I'm seeing super thick slabs. You know, usually, traditionally you'd see an inch. I'm seeing like 2, 3, maybe sometimes even 4 inches on countertops. Marble sinks, one of my favorite local vintage stores here in Los Angeles, antique and vintage, is Olive Atelier. I mean, they have the most beautiful vintage sinks that people are repurposing onto like vintage wood pieces and making them into vanities, which I think is such an awesome way to incorporate this into your home. I'm seeing marble shelves, you know, famously Athena Calderon has, you know, the marble backsplash and then the marble shelf sticks out, but that's also a very English trend. I've seen Stouffer Home use it as well in a lot of her work. Also seeing in the kitchens and bathroom, kitchen spaces, I'm seeing a lot of moody butler pantries that are incorporating this bold veiny marble trend. Calcutta marble, just really fun choices. You know, we're moving away from just the safe granite, white, gray. So if you are doing a renovation, finding a bold veiny marble is a beautiful choice that you won't regret, that I don't think is trendy in the sense that it'll go out of style. I think a Calcutta marble is timeless. Again, go to the, you know, the cathedrals and the really ornate, beautiful spaces in Europe that have been around for hundreds of years, and they were using it first hundreds of years ago. It's timeless. So I wouldn't be afraid to incorporate that into a renovation. However, if you are not doing a renovation and you want to incorporate it, I recently bought a marble Calcutta viola tray from Amazon for, I think it was like less than $60, I think it was like 50 bucks, that I use in my bathroom. That's one way I've incorporated it into my decor. It's like this big. I'll link it down below. I've also, you know, seen people using this bold marble trend in like small tabletops that you can get that are sort of like bistro tables or just like side tables that are incorporating them. Bowls. I have one that I got from TJ Maxx that has a really bold veiny marble in it. That was super affordable. So if it's something that you want, it's a trend you want to hop onto, again, decor, incorporating it into decor instead of like core materials like countertops or floors or walls or backsplashes or shelves or whatever, is another great way to incorporate this trend into your home. I've seen so many great examples, and I think it's a really, really wonderful option for the trends that are trending in 2023. That is, again, trendy but timeless. And that is it for me today, you guys. So I hope you enjoyed this trends of 2023 video. If you are not already subscribed to my channel, I just recently hit 1,000 subscribers, which is so exciting to me. I've been, you know, doing this for a while now, and very much doing this as like a passion, but it's really nice to have a community of people that enjoy interior design as much as I do, and that are enjoying this journey that I'm going on of learning what I love to do, but also learning to do things that I never thought I was going to be capable of. Like, I have so many power tools, saws, you know, like who knew? Anyways, if you're interested in DIY for you're interested in interior design, if you're interested in more talks like this, interviews with designers, please be sure to hit that subscribe button, and please be sure to follow me over on Instagram at storydesign_with_Corbin for more behind the scenes. I do show you sort of like, you know, day-to-day progress on projects I'm working on, but also I post a lot of design inspo over there. From if you like this video and you like these images I showed you, I do a lot of that stuff daily over on my Instagram for inspo. So yeah, please be sure to follow me over there and check out my Amazon storefront for a more organized sort of like place to shop from some of these trends that I was talking about here today in this video. And have the most wonderful week or weekend, depending on where you are in the week when you're watching this. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.